Hello, I'm the Godless Engineer. Today on some Godless Politics, let's talk about Kim Davis.
Engineer, a conscious pioneer, a logic general, a reason brigadier. More bullshit from the pulpit. Meet me in the comment section and you get schooled, bitch. The Godless Engineer.
Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard about this whole Kim Davis situation. Yeah, she's the Kentucky county clerk that got put in jail last week because she refuses to issue homosexual marriage license for people of the same sex. I have a few thoughts on this, based on the reactions that I've seen online and, reactions of some people in the public sphere. Number one, there's the obvious fucking thing. She just needs to do her fucking job. I mean, it is her job to issue these licenses and to execute, I guess what would be the current laws as they are, as it revolves around that particular subject. And the Supreme Court has deemed that the Constitution grants same-sex couples the right to be married. Okay, so it's not that they are making new laws. See, it's because Huckabee and people like him, people that support his thought process, they actually think that there's a difference, that there's this thing called judicial law, or something like that. That's bullshit. Basically the Supreme Court says, hey, the Constitution already supports this, so fucking do it. And a lot of people are calling this a violation of her First Amendment rights. No. See, we're not saying that she can't profess her hatred for homosexual couples. We're not saying that she can't say that she disapproves of it. We're saying do your fucking job. That's what you were put in office to do. That's what you were elected to do. Do your fucking job. The decision's already been made. I'm sorry that your side lost, but guess what? You still have to follow the laws, and the Supreme Court has decided that the Constitution already supports this action. Another thing that kind of revolves around the obvious here is her marital status, her past marital issues. A lot of people have been throwing this out there. Even I have been throwing it out there, and I don't feel guilty at all about doing it. See, I'm doing it from more of a comedic perspective rather than a serious perspective. In a serious perspective, I would say that this video is very serious. And, really people shouldn't be throwing out her marital status as, as any kind of serious argument against her. I mean, the argument against her, I just covered, is pretty simple. I mean, just do your fucking job. That's what you were elected to do. That is the only argument that you need. You don't need to bring up her marital thing, other than the fact that you get to have the comedic conversation of, wait. Okay, so let me get this straight. You're telling me she was married to her first husband, was pregnant with twins from her third husband, but after she divorced her first, she got married to a second husband, made him think that they are his kids or some shit like that, or maybe was pretty upfront about it, and then after she got rid of him, she finally married the kid's parents, and now she's on her fourth husband? Oh, and she supports traditional marriage. Oh, okay, I get it. I see where she's going with that. I'm assuming that she got, the little permission slips from her previous husbands to do that. Well, of course, she was, she broke one of the 10 commandments. God takes those pretty seriously. Number two, there's this fucking guy.
The Christian Holocaust has officially begun in America. I hate to say I told you so, but in fact I did.
Borstein's got an opinion on this too. I mean, who didn't see that fucking coming, right? But he's saying that this is the start of the Christian Holocaust. Motherfucker, do you know what the Holocaust was? Do you understand? The Holocaust was Hitler actually packaging up Jews, putting them on trains, and then ushering them into gas chambers or into lines where they could put one gun up to one guy's head and see how many motherfuckers they could shoot through. That is what the Holocaust was. The Holocaust was a cold, calculated genocide of an entire group of people. The Jews, okay? That's what that was. one lonely Christian getting put in jail for not doing her goddamn job is not a Holocaust, you dense motherfucker. The only reaction that I really have to this is this right here. Number 3, Huckabee is supporting her. Of course Huckabee's supporting her. I mean, you know, Huckabee hates gay marriage. He hates same-sex marriage. He hates people having the exact same rights as his white elitist ass. So why wouldn't he support her? Well, he's also condemning Hillary Clinton at the same time, but you know what? He got schooled on MSNBC. Of course, if he was on Fox News, he totally wouldn't have gotten this question, but luckily, he did.
So why don't I ask you about the Kentucky clerk? And you made some comments. Thank God for her. Carly Fiorina had a very different point of view about this, and it was more about the rules, the rule of law, the supreme rules of law. And you just talked about rules and how people play by different rules. And it seems to me that you are critical to that type of behavior. I'm wondering why it is okay for this clerk to do what she is doing, given that this is the law of the land.
Well, when you say it's the law of the land, can you quote the statute that has been passed by the people's elected representatives? No. The only law she's following is the Kentucky law, which by constitutional amendment defines marriage as a man and a woman. The specific form that she is required to fill out for a marriage license specifically requires male and female. Now, if the Kentucky legislature decides that they agree with the Supreme Court and they change the laws of Kentucky, that's a whole different thing. But we're bordering on judicial tyranny here.
But, Governor, you know,
go ahead, Joe,
you know that the Supreme Court doesn't have to have Congress pass statutes for their interpretation of the Constitution that immediately becomes law of the land and supersedes all state laws. And whether I agree with you or not on states being able to regulate this or not, anything that Kentucky passed becomes irrelevant as soon as the Supreme Court of the United States makes a constitutional determination, right? That's basic constitutional law.
No, that's not true. Look, you would have hated Lincoln because he disregarded Dred Scott's 1857 decision that said black people weren't fully human. He disregarded it because he knew that it was not operative. It was not logical. Jefferson warned against judicial tyranny, which he said would be the case if we ended up allowing a court ruling to become law without the...
Number 4, her husband is comparing her to Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah, I know. Let that sink in a little bit. I mean, the man who was fighting specifically against fucks like her, she's getting compared to him. Not only that, but Huckabee, of course, is comparing her to Abraham Lincoln, using that whole Dred Scott thing that you just kind of saw in that little short clip. Okay, the Dred Scott thing is a completely stupid route to take. Okay, because if you were to take those people, the group, the Mike Huckabee kind of people, if you were to take those and transpose those to the time period of the Dred Scott decision, those motherfuckers would have supported the decision. For you guys who are against same-sex marriage to take up that particular route is just completely asinine and shows that you have no clue about history at all. I mean, does that prove that the Supreme Court can make mistakes? Yes, of course. But also, directly after that, a civil war was started, and we fundamentally changed our Constitution as far as equal rights goes. It changed for equal rights. It was a catalyst for a change towards the decision that you're fighting today. How does that make any kind of goddamn sense? It doesn't. It fucking doesn't. And for you to compare the efforts of Martin Luther King Jr. to this bitch? Holy shit, take a step back, reel your shit in, and really think about what you're doing there, you dipshit. Number 5, the martyrism aspect of all this. As soon as she got put into jail, she immediately became a martyr for the Christian anti-homosexual cause. That's exactly what has happened, and that's exactly what everything that I've been talking to leads up to, is this whole martyr complex that they have. This persecution complex. Josh Fuckstein is doing it. Mike Huckabee is doing it. Every motherfucker out there that supports Kim Davis is doing it. She's become a martyr. She is the poster child for their particular movement. A lot of people are saying, no, she's not Rosa Parks. Well, she's not Rosa Parks in that it's like a direct correlation, but it's more or less like she's on the opposite end of it. Like if you were to take Rosa Parks and do an anti-Rosa Parks, that's fucking Kim Davis. Kim Davis is anti-Rosa Parks. That's who she is. If there was an anti-universe, Kim Davis would be the Rosa Parks of that universe. Thank you for joining me today on this Godless Politics. I hope that you will go down below, hit that like button. If this is the first time that you're watching this particular series, hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you here for future Godless Politic episodes. So, please, do all that. Have a nice day. And I hope that you'll join me again.